flanked by Nexus Services President and CEO Mike Donovan and Nexus Derechos Humanos President and attorney Mario Williams. In front of 13 cameras and over a dozen media outlets from across the country, Zachary Cruz held his first press conference as the executive director of WIN. WIN, WIN, is short for We Isolate No One, an anti-bullying campaign founded by the Zachary Cruz Foundation to end bullying, and will partner with the law firm Nexus Derechos Humanos and will initially be funded by Nexus Services Inc, whose president and CEO, Mike Donovan, estimates his company will invest between $800,000 to $1.2 million to WIN in its first year. Cruz said his foundation will have a 24/7 hotline for kids to call and report bullying.
The organization will have a 24/7 hotline. Kids can call the hotline and report issues of bullying, abuse, and isolation. If WIN receives a call, that information will be shared with chapter members and leaderships, along with the school principal. Working hand in hand with Nexus Derechos Humanos, a civil rights law firm, WIN will follow up to ensure that school leaders take the report seriously and act on them. At the end of the day, bullying and isolation of kids in our schools is a national crisis. Kids are literally dying.
Nexus Derechos Humanos president and attorney Mario Williams explained what role his law firm will play in its partnership with WIN.
The solution to bullying first starts with the ability to hold public school officials accountable legally and liable for not taking reasonable steps to ensure that they can eradicate bullying from their school system. So that means taking someone who actually bullies another person, bringing their parents into the fold, taking the victim of bullying, and actually examining the situation and trying to actually resolve the situation without penalty, which means I'm not just going to expel you, I'm going to look and see if this person really needs help. What type of help does this person really need? That does not happen currently because anybody familiar with the legal framework regarding bullying in schools, they absolutely know that they're immune from liability. All too often, parents across the United States of America go to teachers and principals and school officials, including county-wide boards, complain about their son or daughter continuously being harassed, bullied, and nothing is done.
Mike Donovan said growing up as an LGBT youth, he was the victim of bullying and felt like giving up on life.
As a high school kid and a middle school kid, I suffered horrific bullying. And as an LGBT kid, that was very, very common, and unfortunately still is. I understand the desperate hopelessness and isolation that can come from being bullied. And I understand how it can affect different kids different ways. Some kids act out and they get into drugs and alcohol abuse, and their life takes a stark turn from what it could have been. That kid didn't shoot up a school, but the tragedy is still there. It may not be reported on the nightly news, but the reality is we've lost someone. And every life that that kid impacts is affected by that bullying, or the kid that decides, like I almost did, that it wasn't worth it anymore and took their own life. That kid, that life that could have been, is gone. And the people that cared about that child are forever affected. It isn't just about stopping the next Parkland, or the next Santa Fe, or the next Columbine. This isn't a crisis that bubbles up once a year. This is a crisis that happens every day.
Donovan said that while being bullied as a youth played a small part in his decision to fund WIN, the main reason he is funding the initiative is because he is inspired by Zach's desire to implement change and create a better world.
I think that some of the best things that really transformatively change us come from very painful situations, and I think this kid is ready to change the world, and I want to be a part of supporting that.
The hotline is up and running and has already received dozens of calls. If you have something to report, you can do so by dialing 1-800-328-5507. And if you want more information on WIN or want to be a part of WIN, you can visit www.weisolatenone.com. Now, in a perfect world, everyone would look at this as a positive initiative and support WIN. But unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world, and sadly, no sooner than the initiative was announced, one man in Kieseltown, Virginia, had to post something negative on social media about Zachary Cruz's foundation and Nexus Services. That man was none other than David Ba-Ray Brigman. So it led me to ask myself, why would David Brigman be against a campaign to end bullying? and hold school administrators and staff that do nothing to stop it liable? And the answer was obvious. Not only has David Brigman been accused of bullying people on roadways in North Carolina and Virginia and using the miscarriage of one of his political opponent's daughters to harass that man online, but also his son has been accused of bullying kids in a local school. Guess what else? David Brigman's wife is a guidance counselor at a local school and has been accused of bullying and harassing people as well. Last night, Breaking Through sat down with a 13-year-old girl and her mother, who not only claimed that she was bullied by David Brigman's son, but also said afterwards David Ba Ray Brigman contacted the 13-year-old girl on Instagram.
My friends would run and jump in my arms and stuff like that, and he'd be like, "Oh, it's a good thing you didn't fall because you would have caused an earthquake," and he'd call me fat ass in the hallway, all stuff like that.
Breaking Through will have a full report on that story later on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. It's going to be a report on bullying in the Rockingham County Public School System that you don't want to miss. So if you haven't done so already, go subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook so you are one of the first to be notified when the report is posted. From the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., Theodore Whitelow for Breaking Through.